Happy Sunday, y'all. Who's with me today? And did I mention a thing? Looks like I did. Hey guys. Hey guys, I can't tell who I've got watching, so be sure to type something in the comments so I know who's here. Appreciate you guys stopping in. We'll give it a few minutes, see who we have join in before we start. See if it shows who's watching here. Hey, let me know in the comments, guys, if you've ever made splines when you make boxes. Or if you've ever made splines before. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today in the shop. Turn my volume down. Yeah, I was thinking I don't know how to tell who's watching on the live. Do you guys? Let me know if you know how to find that out. I can just see you guys. I can see the number watching, but I don't know who's actually here until you make a comment. So hit a comment or type a comment for me. Let me know you're here. Kizzy, what's happening? Glad you made it. The weather today is, I think, in the 40s, but yesterday we were in the mid 50s. So it was great. How's the weather in Louisiana? Hey, what's up, Josh? Thanks for dropping in, man. We're just about to get started, just waiting for a few more people to pop in. Hey, Josh, I'm going to make you a moderator, okay? That way you can kind of, if I'm talking or something, you can chat with people and send them links to anybody in the chat. $20 degrees. Man. Yeah, it wasn't down in the, I'm trying to think how cold it was getting. I think it was getting in the teens for us the last couple of weeks, but this week's supposed to be pretty warm. I think tomorrow we might be in the 50s. So not bad. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Old Path, WordWorks, and DIY Plus. Okay. Shalom. Hey, Old Path, did you just change your name? That looks a little longer. I think it was Old Path or Old Path Woodworks before. Yeah, Kizzy, 69 degrees is a great temperature. I wouldn't complain. I'm blessed to have a heated shop. I have a ceiling mounted 20 amp heater, but the thermostat in it is not the best. So if you set it too low, it'll get a little chilly in the shop, but it'll heat back up pretty quick. Okay, great. Old Path. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, guys. First, I didn't know if during the middle of the week, I showed you guys how we waxed that ash. That was my live, but this is the box we made last week, last Sunday on the live. That's walnut. And then there's the ash bottom. Hey, Mark, thanks for dropping in. Oh, thanks, Josh. I didn't know if it did that. So this turned out really nice. Wednesday, we applied the Osmo Pollux oil, and it had different instructions. Like if you're doing most of these hard wax oils, they're very durable. They actually started out as being wood flooring. You put it on wood flooring, so of course it's got to be very durable. And then they started marketing a few years ago to furniture makers. So I only put one coat on. I wiped it on, and then 10 or 15 minutes later, I wiped the excess off. And I didn't really do anything else. And I chose the satin clear. I wasn't, it has a really good look. It's not very shiny, which is exactly what I wanted. And it lets the grain really show. It has a really nice feel. So I'm really happy with it. Last week after we left the live, the thing I did was install these splines. These are maple splines. So today, I'm going to show you how to make some splines. So, and then last Sunday, this is the hand plane I was using. This is the Veritas right-handed plow plane, box making plow plane. So this allows you to make the grooves in the boxes so that your drawer bottoms or drawer tops, box tops or box bottoms can sit in so it can move for expansion and contraction. So I'm really happy with it. It's still a learning process, but I'm really digging it. Hey Perry, thanks for joining in, man. So that's what we did on last week's live. And then after the live, I had so much fun making that box and trying out that hand plane for the first time. I went ahead and made a second one Sunday after the live. And this one is cherry. It's not very figured, it's just pretty generic cherry. Then I built some walnut panels for the bottom. So I think it's really gonna pop, but today I went ahead and milled up some walnut. I'm gonna show you guys how to make splines and install splines in this cherry box today. So before we go on, I wanted to ask you guys something. I'm starting to learn how to make better thumbnails for my YouTube channel and different tools like that. Would you guys want to see me make any videos on how to make YouTube shorts for your channel, for your woodworking channel? Just let me know. Hey Kat, thanks for joining. So let me know if you're interested in that. And then today I published my latest video. If you own a laser, I made a video for a jig for engraving coasters. That's a pretty good seller for me, especially in the fall at different craft shows. So let me know what you think about that. If you have any laser questions, my email's on the channel, but it's myhoneyshandmade@gmail.com. All right, Josh, if you want to see it, man, I'll make a quick video. Maybe a short, but I've been trying to teach myself how to make some better thumbnails, so if there's some interest, I'll do it. I think it's valuable. All right, so you may or may not know some of this, but this is on this box, this is end grain to end grain on your joint when they get glued together. So that is a really weak joint. Because this is your end grain, the end of a board. If you ever put glue on that, let it set for 5 minutes, and when you come back, it'll probably be completely absorbed. That's because the wood, cool old pal, appreciate it. That's because the wood kind of acts like a straw on the end grain. So when you put glue there, it's going to absorb it and bring it down into the wood. So if you have two pieces of end grain that have glue on it, it's going to pull all the glue down into the wood, not staying on the surface. So you get a poor joint. That's why you'll see people make different joinery. Cool, thanks, Kat. That's why you'll see people make different joinery that has more long grain. This is the long grain or edge grain. This would be end grain. So if your glue is on the end grain or edge grain, it's going to have a stronger joint. So you might see different woodworking with that type of joint. So that's why a spline is really, I would consider it a requirement, especially, you know, these boxes that's less than a 1/4 inch thick. So if I drop this, I would expect the box to come apart. I mean, it's just glue on end grain. So I went ahead and milled down some walnut I had to where it fits. Whoop. Let me show you what I've learned over the years. Let me see if you can see it on this. Let me see. Yeah. Zoom in here. Right here, you can see there's a little gap between the spline and the wood. When I made these splines, this was using a combination blade on the table saw. When you cut something like a groove, it's not perfectly flat bottomed. So today, let me show you it. I'm going to use my dado stack to cut a flat bottom spline, or a groove for the spline. Yeah, these are, thanks Mark. So these are the chippers. These are one of the chippers that come with my dado stack. They're going to give you a flat bottom groove so that for your spline. So here's one already cut. It's around 5/16 thickness. So that's going to give you a really flat bottom to glue so that it's going to be, there's not going to be gaps like this other one. Plus, because you're using the, it's wider, you're having it's going to be a stronger joint holding it in. Oh, where's Mark? I didn't realize he was a day ahead. Yeah, he mentioned getting the kids to kindergarten. Oh, thanks, Kat. So yeah, so let me know if you've ever heard that tip before or if you've ever used that before. But I've been making boxes for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And I learned that quite a long time ago, and they really help. Oh, I did not know Mark was New Zealand. Okay, well, cool. Glad he was able to drop in for a minute. That's awesome. Sweet. All right, guys, if you haven't hit that like button, smash it. I appreciate the support. That lets more people see our videos, so appreciate you. Let's double check here. Okay. So let's, if you guys don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and go over to the table saw and I'll show you my setup. Let's give everybody a minute. Hey, does the audio sound good, guys? I just got my new microphone this week, so great. Thanks, Perry. So yeah, I think they're working out a lot better. My audio was poor before, so I think it's pretty good. Everyone's giving me good feedback on it, so I appreciate it. So all right, let's go to the table saw, guys. I'll show you how I do it. I'll show you the jig I built. You can always find jigs for sale, like Rockler, all the woodworking stores, Amazon, pretty much Rockler, Woodcraft, I think Menards. There's all kinds of different places, but honestly, I make my own for the most part to save money, and because sometimes I get careless and things break. So yeah, I like to make my own and save money. If I can save $100 by spending half an hour making a jig, I'm going to make a jig. So let me show you my setup. I'll switch the camera around to the table saw, kind of walk you through my jig. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Or if you want to send me an email, I can give you more info. I haven't made plans for it. If you want plans, I could probably make them. So just let me know. Yeah, Paul Walker. I've seen people use their biscuit jointer. Does everyone know what a biscuit jointer is? That's funny. I'm actually on my bench, and I'll show you what one is real quick. This is where mine is. Because I've heard people, this is a biscuit jointer. It has a blade. And it usually comes out. I don't know why it's not. Oh. So it has a blade that comes out. See if you can see that. I've never used it on a box. I use these on when I make like a desktop, a coffee tabletop, or a tabletop. I'll put these on the bottom of the I'll put these on the bottom like this, the side of a table, like your table aprons. And then I'll use Z-clips, and those mount up to the tabletop so the tabletop can expand and contract with wood movement, different humidity. So that's honestly the only method I have for the for using the biscuit joiner. I'm always afraid if I used it on the side, I might, on the box, I'd mess the box up, so I've never used this. There's a ton of different ways to make splines. You could do it by hand, I'm sure, but I'm not that guy. I like to use power tools and hand tools. So yeah, that's what a biscuit joiner looks like. All right, let me switch the camera. I'll show you what we're doing on the table saw. Multi-tool with the flat blade. Huh. I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Paul. I used to use the biscuit joiner when I built tables. 3.5 years ago, I bought the Festool Domino, so I use that, and that works really well. Very little alignment issues on the tabletop. So, yeah, these really aren't for strength. Some people have made videos. This isn't for strength. This is for aligning two pieces, pretty much. So, all right, let's zip over to the table saw. Let me show you guys. Switch this bad boy. Don't ask me why I have a microwave in my shop. I actually have never used it, I don't think, in the shop. All right, so this is my jig. I'm sure I saw someone on YouTube make it, but if you, basically, you can make a lot of jigs like this for your table saw. You just basically have a piece of wood here, and then you measure the width and hold them on the board and then put your other piece on so it slides on your fence. And then you can add jigs to it. So what I've got, this is a spline jig. So this is basically just two boards at a 45-degree angle to each other. So we have a 90-degree angle here. And then this lets me put, let me get that box. Then I've already lined it up. This is where my hole is. So I'm just going to leave it there, and you can hold your box. Don't put your fingers by the blade, and you can run it through. And you're going to rotate it. So let me show you what that looks like. And the real thing, this has a little slop in it back and forth, but I hold it down over here and push forward. And I've already installed that chipper that I showed you. Let me grab it again. So yeah, so the only thing I have in here is one of these chippers. I've had this dado stack, I don't know, 6 years. So let's make some splines. I would always recommend putting your PPE on. Would have to use veneer for splines that small. Let's see. Checking out the comments before I put my PPE on. Heating up coffee. Yeah, we redid our kitchen 3.5 years ago. And we had an extra, or we bought a new microwave. So I thought I would use that to dry wood for wood turning, but I really haven't used it at all. Yeah, Kat, it works well. Yeah, Kizzy, you'll have to make new jigs, but that's kind of the fun when you get a new saw. Wow, guys, we have 83 watching. What's up? Thanks for joining, guys. All right, so let's make some splines, then I'll show you how I do it. Let me get some gear on. Hey guys, let me ask you a question. This is the first time with these new microphones running the equipment. Was it really loud for you guys, or did the noise canceling kick in? Or was it crazy loud? All right, so that's what it looked like. Okay, it wasn't loud. Great, Perry. I was hoping, but okay, so this is kind of how you gauge how deep you're going. That's kind of shallow, so I'm going to raise the blade up just a little. But you know, honestly, I have gone too deep and it shows on the inside of the box. So you kind of want to gauge that. So I'm going to raise the blade up, do that one more time. Oh, the camera was bouncing. Okay. Let me get it a little further away from the table saw. Let me zoom in here. So here, let's see how bad that was. Yeah, that's a crazy wide chipper. I haven't done the angled ones, Paul. Wow, 100. See, mine shows 130. That's funky. All right, so check this out. I must have moved or something shifted. When I flipped it, I got this crappy one. Let me see if you guys can see that. So I got this crap one. Something shifted. So what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna widen this dado to go down a little bit on all 4 of these on the bottom. And I'm just gonna have to mill different wood to make it a little thicker. That's the only way I know to fix that. You see that? It's like, I must have been off. Like when I was holding it, it must not have been all the way over, something like that. So the only way I know to fix it is, let's think. We're gonna go that way. Let's think here. All the others look good. Yeah, it was just that one. So there, I want it to go over. So we're gonna come up here, take the fence over this way slightly, and run it again on that series on the bottom here. I'm gonna run it on this one to see if it levels out with down here. I'm not sure, Josh. It may have bunched up, but I've never had that problem on the table saw where the tape becomes an issue. I usually put the tape there. That way when I cut and I glue, I don't get a lot of glue. The glue's on the tape, so it makes a cleaner reveal when you sand. I don't know. We'll find out. That seems to have done the trick. Hey Alexander, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, so that looks like it did the trick. So that's just part of woodworking, guys. You know, you got to know how to cover your mistakes. So let me show you what I've got here, and I'll let you guys. Oh, you see there where I cut maybe slightly too deep, but it's not visible inside, so we're good. So let me show you what I've got for the splines, and then I'll have to find some material that's a little bit thicker there. Give me just a sec. Where's that? Let me find, what do I have? So I've already got these splines that I cut earlier. They're a good tight fit. So I've got enough material for those for all 4. Man, that's pretty wide. I've got to find some different material. Let me see. What do you guys think about zebra wood? You think zebra wood would make a nice spline for this big guy? Hey, Alan, thanks for joining in. Appreciate you. Runic, what's up, man? All right, guys, I got 15 likes. Please smash that like button. Appreciate it. So you guys tell me, what do you think? Zebra wood for the big spline? I got walnut already cut for these little guys. I think that's kind of a nice contrast. What do you think? Walnut? Okay, let me find some more walnut. Let me see if I can find some. Sorry, I forgot I've got a hot mic and I'm over here making sounds. Let's go check the wood pile, one of the wood piles. Hey, Alan. No, everyone, when I go to craft shows, people think I sell honey. My wife actually started the Facebook page years ago. She used to quilt and sell quilts. So I made some quilt ladders and took over her Facebook page, which was My Honey's Handmade. And I just took it over. So that's why, you know, I kept the name. I thought about changing it, but, you know, with My Honey's Handmade, you can make all kinds of stuff. So here's one of the wood piles. Let's see what we got. My problem is I don't have anything cut to the correct width, so I'm gonna have to plane something. I'm trying to avoid cutting something on the table saw because I have to take the blade out. What do you guys think about Purple Heart for the big one? What do you guys think about Purple Heart for the big guy? For the big spline? Let me see if it'll fit. Got a little bit of Purple Heart. Let's see, that'd be great if it fit. Let's find out. Come on, baby. It's meant to be. Okay, it's wider than this, so that's great. I can run it through the planer. Let me get that set up real quick. So I'm gonna plane some Purple Heart. I think it'll look pretty good. Where'd my Purple Heart go? Let me get this tape off and we'll run it through. I would not recommend running tape through your planer. I don't think I've done it before, but I wouldn't do it. I think I'm gonna run it through my sander real quick to get rid of the tape. All right, I'm gonna sit down for a minute, catch up with the comments, and then we'll see what we have. Whoop. Yeah, I'm just wandering around. So there's the fit. That's pretty good. Once you add glue, it'll swell slightly. So I'm pretty happy with the fit. So let me catch up on comments and we'll glue these in. And then I got a couple things after that. Let me catch up here. Oh, cherry would look pretty good. All right, Kizzy voted for Purple Heart. That's good, because that's what I did. Hey, Josh, for those couplers, I found a guy on Etsy. I finally broke down, because every time it sucked to move from the planer to the sander. So I went ahead last year and bought some. It was great. He sent them to me, and a couple of the magnets came out very early on. So he made a brand new design that had an extra row of magnets. They work really well. So yeah, send me an email or a message on Facebook. I'll send you that guy's Etsy shop. Man, I was very happy with his stuff. And I've used them for, I think 6 or 7 months now. They're great. Alexander, I've been wanting a 3D printer myself, man. I appreciate you stopping in. Oh, a dental 3D scanner. I forgot Alexander works on electronics. Nice. Yeah, Sean, I don't know about the tape with the planer. I'm not sure. I don't think I've done it before, but I know I've tried painted material, and it really dulled the blades really quickly, so I try to avoid that if I can. Like I'll usually, if I do a glue up, I'll scrape the glue off with a scraper before I go into the planer, just to save the blades a little bit. Hey, Kat, what did you mean Steve will tell us? Yeah, I think it's going to look pretty cool with that Purple Heart. Yeah, Kat, I just caught up on, I missed some of the comments, but you have a comment that says Steve will tell us. I'm not sure what you meant there. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, why not to put tape through the planer? Yeah. That's my 2 cents. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You know, I wouldn't, but it may be okay, but I wouldn't. So I think it's best practices not to, but I don't know. Yeah, straight blades. I've seen on my old, let me change the video just a little bit. Widen this out here. On my, on my old planer, I used to have a wind planer, and I actually saw where, when it wasn't planing right, I actually saw where a splinter of wood had gone up in the bar and bent the bar and bent the blade. So I actually had to get a new bar for the planer. So I'm just a little careful about what I put in there. So hey, before we glue the splines in, I wanted to ask you guys a question. Let me see. Oh, I was gonna say, if you guys, I'm doing these lives every Sunday at 2 o'clock Central. If you wanna send me a project you built, I'll be free to feel free to send it to me and I'll give you a shout out on the channel. I know this week, if you guys have met Chase from New Beginnings Woodworks, he did a really cool live this week where he made a Bible box. He showed us how he made that. So it was a great live. So you might check out Chase at New Beginnings Woodworks. Spline jig finish it. So before we glue these in, I'm going to tell you or show you how I made the splines and tell you a couple of different ways you can make them. Oh, cool, Alexander. I'll hit you up if I buy one. So how I make the splines, you saw my sander. I basically cut them on the table saw and then I'll sand them to the thickness. But I understand not everybody has one of those. So another way you can do it, it's called a thin strip jig. I couldn't find mine. See if I can describe it for you. So a thin strip jig, you're not really, like let's say, you're not really supposed to, if this is the thickness you wanted, some people could just push this against their blade and then run a thicker piece of wood through. That's really not the safest method because kickback could push this back out at you. So what I've seen, a thin strip jig would basically be, I made one for myself, but I can't find it. It mounts onto my miter slot. And so here's our blade. So for example, this is, I don't know what we said about, let's just call that 3/16. So if this is what size we wanted or what thickness we wanted, we would have a piece of wood. You just put the piece you want against the blade. And then imagine this is a thicker piece of wood, right? Like you could put a thicker piece of wood. Then clamp this or screw it into your miter slot. Then that gives you a, I don't know if I'd use that or not. I don't think that's a good method. I tried to find my jig and I couldn't find it. So it's called a thin strip jig. So look that up. You can find videos on it. Actually, I forgot. I did make a video on a thin strip jig. I made it myself and it worked. I had to cut an accent wall and it worked really well. So check that out. So all I'm doing for these splines, this is like 5/8 inch thick. I'm gonna cut this in half real quick. Let me switch this blade real quick. Before you switch blades, always unplug your equipment. I forgot I have to cut those splines out of the Purple Heart too, so let me get in here and show you what I'm doing. See if you can see down. Sorry guys, trying to adjust this camera. See if I can adjust it here. So, yeah, and hopefully that made sense. Let's see. All right. So always unplug your equipment. Turning it off is not enough. This thing could kick on, cut your finger off. So definitely practice safe shop time. I've really enjoyed having a dado stack on my DeWalt table saw. That's one of the things that was a requirement for me. I knew I'd be building furniture with it eventually. So I use the dado a lot of times when I'm building cabinetry. Like my cabinets in my kitchen, I built using dados. I didn't go far enough on that guy. All right. Now we're ready to cut our splines. Let's get a pencil. Where do I have one? There we go. Yeah, Perry had a close call and ruined his zero clearance insert in the last few days. That can be scary. So let's see. So I'm basically laying this in there. Man, I swear. Oh, I'm in the wrong slot. I was like, man, something's wrong. That is, huh. I thought oh, wow. I guess I was looking at the wrong slot. These are you freaking kidding me? Huh. These are pretty sloppy right here. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to mill up a different wood. This slot, I think this is that one, that first one I messed up. It's actually slightly wider. See, look, oh my gosh, man, I gotta dial that in better. This one's great. But man, those others are really sloppy. Look at that. That's nuts. I'm not sure why it got off that much. It's possible because I didn't clamp it, or, you know, when that thinner strip came off, that could have done it. Huh. So I'm gonna have to come up with some different methods for that. I'm gonna go ahead and glue these top ones in, and I'm gonna mill this. I'm gonna have to mill up some of these others. Well, actually, let me see if I've got more purple heart. I think I can make that work. I'll just use half of this for these splines and mill up a couple more pieces, glue them together so they're thicker, and then sand them out. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to do the Purple Heart this week after the live, but I'll put next week. I'll show you what the Purple Heart, what the box looks like after I finish it. So I want to make sure I don't have tape in the actual slot. Well, we aren't using this one today anyway, but just to make sure there's no tape in here. Okay. I lost all my little acid brushes. I don't know what happened to them. Let's see. I've seen people clamp these. I really never have. I just put some glue in there. You can use a brush. I don't, typically. If I have it, I do. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see this, sorry. All right, let's see. So I typically just glue it, add plenty of glue, and see how the tape is protecting your wood. That's why I like using the tape trick. And then I tap it at the 45-degree angle, and you can tell when it seats. It's not always perfect, but it's pretty good. Rinse and repeat over here. And like I said, this is going to really strengthen the joint of the box, but it's not always about, also, it's not only about strength, but it also is going to look really cool. Like, I don't think I've ever done splines that are different. So like these will be walnut and the top's going to be Purple Heart. So that's going to look kind of cool. And do you hear that when you pound it? It seats. It sounds different when you're tapping it in. It sounds more solid if you guys can hear that. So, all right, I got to switch around for this guy just because the box, how it has to sit. See how I'm on the corner here? Let me see if you guys could see that. Yeah. Hey, there's this week's project. That's 100 board feet of cherry. I'm making 100 plaques for a local fishing group. So anyway, squirrel, sorry. So sitting on the corner helps me go ahead and do this so I don't hurt the other two splines we already put in. So. I have seen people clamp these, but let me know if you've ever clamped them. I haven't really seen the need. And that's a nice fit. It's not loose. So I'm going to go around, squeeze it, just to make sure. You're just making sure it's pressed in as far as it can go. And I've been using this Titebond Quick and Thick lately. I'm really liking it because it doesn't drip like the Titebond 3 is usually what I use. So that's what we have, guys. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to mill up that Purple Heart, or glue that Purple Heart over there on the table saw later this week to get these splines in. I was off, so I think, let me show you what happened, I think. Let me see if I can get a good camera angle. Pretty sure I know part of what happened. So here's my jig. I did notice, if you guys saw, I had to replace one of these plates. I think that came loose and skewed it. Another thing that can skew it, if you guys see, there's a little bit of play. Like, there's a little bit of play. Actually, there's a little bit of play in the fence, but so it's either this plate or sometimes you push at an angle and you don't mean to. So probably the better method would be right down here, hold it down when I do it, like one hand here, one hand on the box. You can also, let me see, where's one on my clamps here. That's also why I made these holes. You can clamp your work as well. So you can clamp it. I forgot to show you the other side. This is a quick little tenoning jig. So if you're making angled cuts, you could put your piece of wood in here and clamp it in. Not like that, but kind of, you get what I'm saying. You could clamp it in. I'd clamp it both directions, here and this way, and it lets you get a good cut, consistent cut on those type of lot of panels that you're cutting. So I usually try to make these dual purpose when you make them. So, all right, so let's switch back over here. Thanks for sharing that video, Kat. Holy crap, guys. We have like 213 people watching. I really appreciate you guys. But hey, I only see 25 likes. Help a brother out. Smash that like button, please. Weak joint to blah blah. Let's see. Okay. Well, cool guys. Let me check out these comments real quick. I think Chase is in the building. Push stick. Thank goodness. Yeah, Alexander, I almost got a saw stop 3 years ago when I went full time, but man, I just couldn't spend the money. I'd like to have one, but quite a bit. Hey, keep checking your mail, your sticker should be delivered. Flossie. Hey, Flossie. Electric Whittler, thanks for stopping in. So yeah, so let me know, guys, if you want me to make plans on that sled for the spline jig and the tenoning jig, let me know. And there's different versions. There's a lot of different ways to make them. This is just how I made them. How I found to make it. Okay, will do, Kat. If you cut acrylic on saw stop, it'll trigger your, the cut. I haven't heard that, Josh, but I have heard that if you cut green wood, like wet wood, like something that has a high, like if you go to Lowe's and you're buying that pine or fir, especially the outdoor variety, has a lot of moisture in it. So I have heard that tripping the saw stop. So Runic, you went with the Grizzly Hybrid. Do you like that saw? I've got some friends that have the Grizzly. I don't have any, I'm trying to think, I don't have any Grizzly tools, but I've heard good things about them. 2 horsepower and runs all day long. Oh, that's a beast. Yeah, mine, I've got the DeWalt DWE 7491 RS. So it's like the job site saw that folds up. And it's great. I always thought I would get a bigger cabinet saw because I make cabinets. But man, the shop really gets small when you have a table saw that's taken up 4 or 5 feet. And so I really haven't pulled the trigger on a bigger saw. I thought about getting the rigid. It's like the $500 to $700 table saw. It's got the cast iron top. I've heard mixed reviews. So I'm trying to make the DeWalt last. Hey, Oli. Did he stop in? Oh, nice. Now, I think I just saw on your channel, it's Oli, not Olay, correct? Saws be tripping. I'll have to check that out, Runic. I didn't even know what the hybrid. Yeah, Runic just said that's why I went with the hybrid. It sits between a contractor and full-size cabinet saw. I'll have to check that out because that sounds like what I want. I mean, I'd really like to have the table saw that has a spot for a router table built in. That way you could use the table saw fence for routing. That would be really cool. So hey guys, I just put up a new video today on laser jigs. I do a lot of laser engraving for my business as well. So if you guys have laser questions, feel free to shoot me an email, send me a message on Facebook. I've got a couple of different lasers and I've been involved with those for like 2.5 years. So if you need help designing anything in your laser software, let me know. I'm pretty good in Lightburn. Yeah, I think you're right, Alexander. He says with tools like table saws, reviews are hit and miss. It's really more about who is reviewing it. Yeah, I mean, because any one of us could buy a brand new table saw. It's either good or bad, but the next person, it could be, I mean, they could have a different experience. It could work great for them, you know. I think it just depends. Man, 150 watching. You guys are awesome. Thank y'all. All right, what else do we have today? Oh, I've got a great find for you guys. I went to Goodwill yesterday with my wife. We just happened to be driving by one. And I got a new, it's an older style tripod, but it all works for $2. Because one of the things I'm trying to do in the shop is I want to get 2 cameras going for my lives and some of my videos I make. You know, like when I'm on the lathe, maybe a side shot and then a top down shot. Same thing with the table saw or whatever I'm doing, so. A lot of places paying for reviews. Yeah, Flossie, there's nothing wrong with Goodwill. We used to take the boys when they were young and let them get books and whatever. Heck yeah, man, new tripod for $2. Hard to beat. You know, the one, I've broken, I think, 2 tripods in the last year. I get the $25 or $30 ones from Amazon, and they break. This sucker is heavy duty. Plus it even came with a little crank. I thought it worked. Let's see. Yeah, so it's even got a crank. So, pretty cool. I think I've got adapters for it. Good idea, moving camera around takes more time than the build. Yeah, Josh, when you're trying to make, my problem with, you know, some of these builds, I have my old Samsung phone, I always ran it out of space because like some of these, I built a linen closet and a vanity 3 or 4 months ago. I have all the footage, but I haven't put it all together and edited it. And I think I still have footage from last year. I made a Dungeons and Dragons gaming table, pretty intricate build, and it's just, you know, you spend a lot of time filming, and I never realized how much time you have to spend editing a longer video. That's still on my list. I've got several videos like that. But Well, hey guys. Wow, man, 160. That's crazy. Yeah, flea markets are great, Alexander. I go to flea markets here sometimes. There used to be this old guy that made cedar furniture. It was really cool, but I don't really see a ton of woodworkers there selling anything. I just go there for the woodworking tools. Well, guys, what do you have going on in the shop this week? I've got to make 104 plaques. I just finished removing wicker and making 4 bases for chairs and reupholstering those last week. I'll have a video up in the next 2 or 3 weeks on that. Yeah, Flossie, I've got, I think I've been turning on the lathe probably 5 years, maybe 6. Yeah, I have quite a few lathe turning videos. I used to make a lot of bowls and vases, rolling pins. I make tool handles. Nowadays, I make, like, for my furniture I build for customers, I'll make knobs on the lathe, things like that. Oh, cool, Runic. Designing a table. Yeah, Flossie, send me a message. I'll send you some links to some of my wood turning videos, but yeah, Perry, that'd be nice having that enclosure done for your desk. Flossie, what are you talking about? Getting the blade off the table saw. What is she talking about? I don't know if I saw that conversation. Dang, Josh, you have 6 or 8 hours of footage? That's a lot. I don't record that much. Well, that sounds fun, Kat. You get to help other people. I wouldn't say no to some help building my brand. Hey, in case you guys didn't know, I'm Steve with My Honey's Handmade. Thanks for joining me in the shop today. Flossie had to break some nuts. Nice. Alexander, that's a good skill to have if you can take electronics really cheap, replace a small part, and yeah, sell it or keep it. Perry's gonna film video wizard carving. Oh, that'll be cool. I did a, last fall, I was asked by a friend to do a trophy stand. It was like a 2-layer trophy stand for a local football league. I did that and I carved some waves with the Dremel. I'm not much of a carver. I mean, I think most of the carving I've done have been on bowls, but it turned out pretty good. I'm fascinated by like Joe and Amy Joe that can carve like they do because they make it look really easy. Every time I carve, my bit wants to go all over the place, so I don't really control the bit very well. Can't find my J roller. Should I remove the blades from the planer and use the rollers to press the veneer? Hey, Vinny, that's okay, man. I appreciate you stopping in. Well, that's an interesting question, Kizzy. Your J roller. Should I remove the blades from the planer and use the rollers to press the veneer? Let me show you some veneer. Well, hey, Kizzy, how big is your veneer that you're trying to press? And Flossie, you can reach me. It should be on my channel, but my email address is myhoneyshandmade@gmail.com. Vinny's in the house. Yeah, Kizzy, how big of a veneer are you using? I was going to show you I've got a stack of veneer, different veneer. I bought a pack off Amazon like 2 years ago. And these are 8 inches by 5 inches. Yeah, Kizzy, what I don't do a lot of veneer work, but I have made a few small things with small pieces of veneer. And I know you can buy special veneer glue. I didn't do that. 9 mil, 6 wide, and 3 foot length. Oh, that's pretty long, Kizzy. Okay. Honestly, I thought I've seen people. Have you ever seen those little wheels, those rubber or silicone wheels, like for spreading glue? I've seen people use that, I thought, on, like when you veneer, like you put your glue down in a thin layer and spread it out really well. And then you put your veneer on, and then I've seen it where they'll roll. Let me see if I've got that. All I've got's a glue bottle with a roller. I don't have a real roller. But I could have sworn I've seen them where they'll roll it flat and then weight it down. A lot of them use like a vacuum bag. I forget what that's called, a vacuum bag clamp, but I don't do all that. Cold iron. Haven't tried that. Yeah, when I do this, I just spread the glue real thin, put it down, and then I go to Dollar Tree in my area. It's a cheap store for $1.25. I buy wax paper, and I'll put wax paper over this, and then I'll put along like a wider board, and then I'll put like screws or some different or extra wood to where I get some weight on there. And that, for what I do, that's been fine. But I haven't done 3 foot or 6 foot long veneer projects. Yeah, Runic, those are great, right? I just bought them. I make some phone stands with the laser, or I was going to, and I made a prototype and I never got it off the ground. Oh, the roll press. So Alexander, hey Kizzy, Alexander had a great suggestion. There might be a roll press in the paint store. I don't know, maybe, probably. I haven't done that. Hey Paul, glad you're back. Should you find something? Wax paper and parchment paper. Is that the same? I think they're different. I'm pretty sure they're different. I don't think the parchment paper is as waxy feeling. Yeah, I think it's different, yeah. Oh, cool. I'd like to see the table design, Runic. I've actually got like 4 or 5 requests from clients in the last couple of days, so I'm working with someone to get a deposit to build a Dungeons and Dragon gaming table. It'll be multi-layer, like it'll have a base, and then it'll have a platform that the tabletop sits on, and the game will be able to be saved under there. So, pretty excited for that. That'll be a fun one, and those are neat. Oh, parchment's wax free. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Parchment you can get pretty warm, wax paper not so much. Yeah, that makes sense, Oli. Yeah, because the wax paper, yeah. I think we tried that once where we accidentally baked something with the wax paper and it started smoking in the oven. I know, right, Kizzy? We're like a whole Google. I have 146 people. What's up with 31 likes? All right. And we don't sell your data. Right. Not yet. Yeah, Runic, I built, my first D&D project was 2 years ago. Someone from Facebook brought me a dining room table they bought at a garage sale. I cut a hole in it and installed a TV that had a plexiglass case Then I added power outlets and a pull-out keyboard tray. Turned out pretty good. I think I've got a video out there on it. And then in fall of 23, I made one. I made a 4-foot by 8-foot solid ash one. It had a raised TV tower with built-in LED lights, power strips, a bookcase at one end. It was freaking a beast. But I haven't built one. Live maps are awesome. I'm not sure what live maps are. Oh, the TV insert. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, they actually had, what was that? He ordered the sensor and the TV to be shipped to my house so I could build around it. Hey, Kizzy, we need to talk. My 20-year-old son is a big Magic player. We make stuff for Magic occasionally. So yeah, you should holler at me. I've got some good ideas. I sell, when I made that Dungeons and Dragons table, I designed some coasters that hold your drinks and your dice. That was a big seller for a while on Etsy for me. When I say big seller, I probably sold 20 of them. Yeah, Kizzy, you should totally holler. A Magic the Gathering playing table would be cool. I could ask my son what he'd want in one. So hey guys, if you have some old printers, if you need a press for your veneer, Alexander was just saying he took apart an old Lexmark laser printer and took out the old the roller and put a handle on it so we could roll with it. That's a good idea. Thanks, Alexander. That's a great idea, man. Runic, what are you talking about? Play mats. Oh, is that where they have the mats and it has like the outlines where the cards go? MT, okay, thanks. Yeah, Runic, my son plays that. I don't play any of that. Yeah. I'm in the shop playing around or working in the shop or watching YouTube about woodworking, so. I don't have a lot of hobbies outside of woodworking. That's a great idea. Silicone roller so it can handle heat. Yeah, that makes sense. That's how the printers work, right? Heat up the Corona wire and how many likes do we have? 31 likes. All right. They were sold online to local. Yeah, Vinny, I've been on Etsy for about a year and a half. Started really slow. I mean, like around Christmas time, I ship around the country a few items, but most of the year there's not a lot of sales on it. I mean, I'm mostly word of mouth. If you didn't know, this is my full-time gig. I do custom furniture, woodworking, laser engraving, full-time. I'm not sure how much, Leo, thanks for joining, man. I don't know how much eBay takes, but Etsy is, I want to say 10 or 12% after. They take a percentage and then they take a listing fee per fixed amount. So yeah, but no, Etsy's been, it's been okay. Facebook, I don't know if you guys sell on Facebook or not. I've had some success there. That's usually where I advertise my dining room tables. But most of the time people don't. Hey, what's that under there? Oh, you guys want to see the laser? Paul? I'll show you the laser. If you guys want laser videos, I mean, I just put one up today how I made a jig for the laser. Yeah, Paul Walker's saying, hey, what's the laser you use again? I do, yeah, I'll show you the laser real quick. Let's go turn it on. I actually have a Thunder laser. It's a big it's an 1,100 pound laser. So let's go turn it on. I'll show you real quick. Hey, thanks, Runic. Appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, I'll show you the laser real quick. Bosnia. Oh, I bet that shipping price is high, Alexander. Yeah, so let's, there's the big boy laser, since Paul asked. So this is a Thunder laser. Sorry, I have stuff stacked in front of it. It's an 1,100 pound laser. It has my bed size is 51 inches by 35.5. So I can make a 3 foot by 4 foot piece relatively easy. And then my Z-axis, which is the up and down, is 9 inches. So I can put I have put a 9-inch thick board in here if I needed to. Or like a box, so if I wanted to engrave any of those boxes, let me go show you. I'll go grab that box. I'll show you. Sorry. So for example, here's my square. If I want to, let's make sure you guys can see that. And sorry if I'm yelling, I'm still getting used to having a mic. I'm not used to having a mic. So for example, if we want to engrave the side of this box for a customer, there's my square. It's on a square. I haven't even tried this, so let's see how low we can go. What's that dance? How low can you go? So yeah, that's how I would do that. Flossie, I don't move that thing around. Actually, I do. It's on wheels, so when I have to get to the back to clean something, I move it. Also, I made a shelf. There's my library of my woodworking books. I can't really get to that back corner, so I can't get to there very easily, and I have that wasted shelf. But the laser's worth it. Yeah, Baz, it's a pricey laser. Yeah, it definitely takes up some room. How low can you go? Oh, that's funny. My last name is Low. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Vinny. My cousin Vinny. Hey, Amy Joe. Josh, you talking about me again with that squirrel? What? Yeah, so let me know, guys, if you want to see some laser videos, yeah, make sure you hit that like button and comment laser. I try to focus on woodworking. I haven't seen a lot of people get too excited about my laser. But I use this. This is one of my main things I do in my business. But yeah, I can do more videos on pretty much whatever you want to see. But Paul, I use Lightburn software. So you buy a yearly license, and it's a really great software. So yeah, if you guys want to see laser videos, let me know. I'd be happy to show you more. I've also thought about doing several laser videos over how to use a laser in your woodworking business to increase sales. Yeah, Paul, hit me up on, send me an email or on Facebook for Lightburn help. I'm pretty good at Lightburn. Yeah, Perry, yeah, I'll do a laser video. Thanks, Amy Jo. What are you driving 4 hours for work, Amy Jo? If you cut a thick piece with the laser, does the finish worsen at the bottom? Yes, it does, Leo. What you have to do, like if you cut that piece of wood, you put it on risers so it's not on the honeycomb, which is the metal. It's the metal honeycomb there. But yeah, it's kind of like when I cut plexiglass or acrylic, the same thing. On the front, it won't show, but on the back, it'll have scorch marks. Let me see if I can find a piece and show you. Oh, I got one. Here you go. So let's see. So here is the front of a cut, and that looks great, right? Then on the back, you can see some scorch marks, which isn't horrible, but this is thin. This is eighth inch Baltic birch. Hey, but yeah. All right, guys, I think I'm calling it a day. I really appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what other videos you want to see. I'll post videos on it, or in my community tab. I'll do a post later. Amy Jo, I'm glad you stopped by. Thanks, Perry. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Have a good one. And I will show you what that box looks like with some Purple Heart splines. Thanks, guys. See you next time.